All right, here we are with Dr. Warnick and some Friday thoughts. Since things are a little bit different right now with instruction, that's led me to think in some new ways. And one thing I've been pondering on is why are we here? I don't mean quite as existential as you might think. I mean, why do we come to a university? Which may be a funny question to ask since a lot of us aren't actually here right now, but still, that's my question. Well, why aren't we? Why would we not come here? Well, all the knowledge we're teaching is freely available. In my field, electromagnetics and wireless communications, there's hundreds of really good books that can be checked out, homework problems and solutions, there's videos, there's any number of ways and means to get this knowledge. So in some sense, we didn't really come here just to learn the information. There has to be a bigger reason, or we wouldn't pay the big bucks and make the time and sacrifice to come to university. So here are a few reasons I've thought of as to why we really are here on campus learning, at least in the normal situation. So here's a little timeline. This is BC. That's the year zero in the Common Convention. We'll put 1,000 here, and here's 2,000, and there we are right here in 2020. And we'll use mathematics. That's a very sequential body of knowledge. We'll use that as kind of a metaphor for the body of information universities have to impart to students. So geometry and algebra have their roots in ancient times, near the earliest periods of recorded history. So geometry came about. Think of Plato and others. Algebra, little was invented over the first few centuries. Maybe on, and some of the concepts didn't come up until the early, maybe 1400s. Something big happened in around the late 1700s. That was the invention of calculus. Now, there was a lot of mathematical progress in between, but calculus was kind of the big news in the first millennium and a half since 0 AD. Well, thinking of electromagnetics, calculus was sort of generalized to higher dimensions. We had vector calculus. Um, Tensor analysis was invented around the time of Einstein's theories. And then from there, things sort of began to explode. There's mathematics that's so deep that most of us will never even hear about it, let alone know anything about it. Algebraic geometry, Fermat's last theorem, group theory, so on and so forth. There's mathematics is so deep that it would take a lifetime, and we never really could keep up with all of it. So now let's compare that to the school system. So when you go up to, so let's say, sixth grade, where most elementary schools end, you've gone from prehistoric times up to somewhere around the year 1000. So that's sixth grade. Okay, you're just beginning to learn the basics of algebra. Then in high school, you get typically up to calculus, maybe a little bit of statistics, depending on your program. But in the traditional United States model, that's where high school gets you. So really, the university exists to take us from about 1800 up until, as far as you can go. We can't get the latest mathematics, but this is university. We go a little bit beyond calculus and do some differential equations, some linear algebra, and so forth. We don't get all the way, but that's about as far as we get. So this picture kind of helps us understand that one role of the university is to try to deal with the growing body of knowledge. Somehow the university exists to help us come to terms with the fact that knowledge has grown exponentially, and we need someone to sort of help us deal with that and find a kind of a step-by-step way to get out into that in a way that becomes meaningful in our future in the workplace or whatever we might want to do. So university helps us deal with the growing body of knowledge. That's kind of my idea number one as to why we're here. But of course, there's other reasons. In engineering, we have a lot of labs and hands-on learning. And of course, the labs are really curtailed right now because of the virus. But in the normal circumstance, we have access to things where we build and test. And there's really no substitute for that. It's one thing to get the theory, but it's a very different thing to get something to work and find out what the bugs are and learn what we didn't understand. And of course, there's a maybe more practical reason why people would pay money to go to the university, and that is because the degree plays a significant role in hiring. The university really helps companies understand who has the right skills and aptitudes to work and do the kinds of things that a given company wants to do. And that's just the way our system is set up. I mean, there's nothing preventing anyone from going out and checking out that book or watching that video and learning whatever they want to learn, and then holding up a flag saying, "Dear world, here I am with this body of knowledge. Please give me money to do something useful for you." There's no law that says you can't do that. But society has gotten together and created a really wonderful system called the modern higher educational program, including universities, that really makes it much easier than it ever has been historically to be able to find a good, worthwhile career and a way to provide for yourself, to feed and clothe a family, and so on and so forth. It's a wonderful invention as part of modern society for all its flaws. I'm not saying universities are perfect. And then, of course, for those of us who, like myself, met our spouses at Brigham Young University and many wonderful friends that we still have to this day, there is a social aspect, and that is very much worth paying for. So we'll put a little star there. Anyway, that's my Friday thoughts.